Land ownership, it has been since the beginning. It was like a freehold. So the government, with the authority of the king, gives the land to the people or to the government for public projects, and then it transfers from the people to others to add value to the land. Sometimes the ownership transfers without adding a value. That means buy a raw land and sell it as is, a raw land. That's not good for the market, of course, because it inflates the prices. Because when I buy a raw land and the price, I wait for the price to go up and then sell it to another one. The other one will wait another one to buy it, which is not good for the market, without adding a value to it. But the best thing is to develop the land, to add the value. And in Saudi Arabia, it has been transferring the land as a freehold, except in some places, like in the Holy Lands, in Mecca and Medina. It's completely different than any other parts of Saudi Arabia. For example, there is, after the creation of GCC, all GCC citizens can buy in Saudi Arabia with some certain regulations to them, except Mecca and Medina. It's only for Saudis. And some ownerships in Mecca and Medina, before Saudi Arabia was created by other Muslims, they still own their deeds, and they are non-Saudis. But if they sell it, they can sell it only to Saudis. That's why most of them, they keep it. They keep those parcels for generation to another. So that's the only change or difference, only in Mecca and Medina. But all over, it's always a freehold of transfer of ownership. Well, as I told you before, because the evolution of land and development was very fast, and it was faster than the regulations. So there are some gaps in the regulations. Sometimes, like 30, 40 years ago, there was no technologies of like GIS systems, no computer systems. Geography was only visual, it wasn't digital. There is some problem, and it's a desert. You don't see trees, you don't see rivers or whatever to make the boundaries of huge lands very clear. So there is some overlap and ownerships at that time. And still we have some problems with overlap of ownerships, especially when the land was subdivided and the neighbor has not done the subdivision, and that one sold some parcels that falls into the other one's property. So there are some technical problems with that, and I don't think, and this is the most important obstacle of the real estate market nowadays. And we understand it is only because of the fast evolution of the market and fast buying and selling, like 20 years ago. But now it is a big challenge how to wrap up all these problems together. And it's really difficult to become very 100% fair to both owners. Both of them, they have to give up some of their rights to solve these issues. But coming back to what you have said about prices, prices are really relative. When you say expensive or cheap, it doesn't work this way because you have mentioned they're expensive. If you say expensive, I would ask compared to what or where or to whom. So when you say expensive, if you compare Riyadh as the capital city of Saudi Arabia to other capital cities in the Arab countries, I'm not going to Europe or America or Asia or whatever, it is the cheapest. So comparing prices is really a relative issue. But if you compare it to the purchase power of people, I would say, yes, it is expensive. But people here in Riyadh, they cannot buy, if they cannot buy in Riyadh, they cannot buy anywhere. Anywhere, I mean any capital city. But they can buy in smaller cities, yes. And we have a problem in Riyadh. Riyadh is, it's the biggest city in Saudi Arabia, but what we have maybe 1/5 of the population, almost 1/4 of the population reside in Riyadh, and this is really a huge problem. The government has noticed this only lately, only in the last maybe 7 years. They noticed that. That's why they are building universities in smaller cities. They're building other job creation opportunities in other cities just to reduce the pressure of the population in Riyadh city. Going to Jeddah, for example. Jeddah, the problem of Jeddah is it's much smaller than Riyadh, and the development is really tight. They have the sea this side, and they have mountains this side. So they have to go strip on the sea. And everybody don't want to go away north or away south. They want to be closer to the city center. That's why prices in Jeddah is higher than in Riyadh. Plus that Jeddah is the gate to Mecca. So all foreigners, I mean non-Saudis, they want to live in Jeddah. They prefer Jeddah more than anywhere else because it's close to Mecca, and it is the gate to Mecca. They have the international airport, and they have the seaport, international seaport, Islamic seaport. So Jeddah has more job opportunities because they have more, I would say, tourism per se. We can say Islamic tourism. So they have more of dependency on business than in Riyadh, because Riyadh is the capital city, depend completely in the government and the international businesses, but Jeddah is completely different. And Eastern Province, on the other hand, is they depend on the oil sector, of course, oil and gas. Most oil in Saudi Arabia, I would say like 90% is from the Eastern Province. So oil and gas, oil companies, foreign companies, local companies work in oil and gas, they have all the jobs in Eastern Province. But in Riyadh, they have the headquarters, the government sectors, headquarters of huge companies like Sabic is in Riyadh, Sabic or any other company. So each part of Saudi Arabia, they have their economic base, which they depend on with the job creation. So real estate sector really has a relation with all these sectors. I mean, all these issues. If you focus on these issues and know where is the job creation, so the location is very important to invest in real estate. So that's the way how we look at it.